for Jackie, and this makes me nervous. But anyways, okay, welcome to our regularly scheduled monthly meeting, January 13th, 2025, and I will call the meeting to order. And a roll call.
Mullins,
Here.
Hanlon,
Here.
Noggle,
Here.
Wagers,
Here.
Wagner.
Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, this is our opportunity for the public to be heard, and we do have a speaker, Mr. Steven Sanders. I'm going to go through the general guidelines real quick for how this goes. Speakers should sign in and list the general topic of their comments prior to the beginning of this meeting. Each speaker is given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the board. If there is more than one speaker on the same issue, please appoint a common speaker. Also, the scope of the board's responses to the speaker's comments is limited due to the nature of this item on the agenda. So, Mr. Sanders.
All right, thank you. I'll start out. See on God, Steve Udovodu.
Juji Dodo.
My name is Steven Sanders, and I'm here tonight with my son Jackson, my other son back there, Jonah. I'm the chairperson of the Sand Springs Indian Education Parent Committee. If you're not aware, the parent committee is in charge of working with the director of the Indian Education to provide culturally relevant and cultural activities to the Native American students of the Sand Springs School District. It's made up of parents that have students in the school system, and we come and meet and try to find topics that are of importance not only to us, to the students and to the school district. Right now, in our last count, nearly a quarter of the student body of the Sand Springs School District has a Indian card. So we're looking, we're 12, 13, 1,400 students that we have in the program. Since we're in the Muskogee Creek Nation reservation, we're funded, our JOM and Title VI is funded by the Muskogee Creek Nation, and also with the federal dollars that the school district gets from the federal government. With that, and when we came and I spoke with Superintendent Durkee when I became the chairperson and we were looking for a new hire, things of that nature, we talked about me being from the Cherokee Nation and some of our community values. One of the big things with the Cherokee Nation is the word Gadugi. And in our language, that means community, that means people, that means acting together, for one common bond, and that's working for each other. But we've taken that principle and put it into what we want to teach the students, to show them. I think that right now that we have 30 different tribal nations represented out of the 579 federally recognized tribes, 39 in the state of Oklahoma. We have 30 of those tribes represented in Sand Springs Public Schools, and 5 of those are from out-of-state tribes. It's kind of broken down into the southeast, northeast, and then the western tribes. But we have 30 tribes represented here in the Sand Springs School District. So that's a lot of kids to try to cover with stuff that is culturally relevant to those tribes. Some of these kids know some of their stuff. Some of those, they hear the language. A lot of them don't. So that's where we come in to try to find presenters to come into the schools, to come in to talk to the kids. I know we had some storytellers come in and serve the whole school during the Native American Appreciation Month. We've got nothing but positive feedback from the schools, from the students. They were very entertaining, but all the stories have a cultural connection and there's a meaning to them, and all that was explained to them, and they all took it really well. Some of the things that we also do is during the summertime we have a cultural summer camp that is for the elementary kids And through that, it's funded by the JOM and Creek Nation, so those are Indian students only. But last year, Lauren was able to bring in Osage singers, Cherokee speakers. Me and Jackson went down and taught them the game of stickball. Ani Jodi is what we call it. But the game of stickball went down there. It's very, for the Southeast tribes, it's a big deal. It's the way that we communicate, the way we socialize, and we taught that to those kids, and I was very appreciative of it, and they were actually getting pretty good at it. And that brought different people in. They played language games. They played or learned some arts and crafts of how things were made, why they were made, the utilitarian value of a basket. Yes, it looks pretty, but that's what everything was carried in and moved with. At the high school, we've been able to start the NASA program, the Native American Student Association, back. There's 10 to 15 students that are regular there. Leadership skills, cultural activities. Jackson and I went and taught stickball again to the high school kids. They went to Muskogee to the Native American Games. That was all the Indian education programs around went there. They played in a tournament. They learned how to shoot bows. There was some of the bow makers there that taught them. They let them shoot them, and just fun and fellowship with other Native American students. And some of the events that we've been having, we started last spring with, we followed up on the cultural night that we had been having. We moved it to Northwoods, and we provided a cultural meal. We had Indian tacos. We had some of the singers from the Delaware Nation come down. It was not only for the students, the community was invited. We had several people from the community come. I got the National Honor Society people, young people were there working on their volunteer hours. They helped us, but then by the end of the night, they're out there dancing. They're having fun, learning, and it's not even part of their culture, but we're trying to get everybody involved. In the October, we had a round dance, and we had some people come in, provide the drum music. They danced. Everybody was, we had community members. We had people from Skytook, Sapulpa, Sperry come, and I was talking to us. Hey, man, we're glad you guys are doing this. We don't really have that going around. And it's all provided by the schools to allow us to use their facilities. If you was at the homecoming parade, you saw our float, or the NASA float. We had some people from the Tulsa Indian Club come and use the powwow drum there, and they played songs all the way through the parade. We've also started a drum group where these young men are learning how to sit around the drum, play the drum, learn the songs. There's some of the young ladies that will start, I think, later on this year as being the singers behind the boys there. And our goal is to have our own drum group for our students to be the ones sitting on that float with the Tulsa Indian Powwow Club.
Mr. Sanders, you have 1 minute.
All right, so some of the things that are coming up for us, and it's for the community also, we're having what's called a Sweetheart Dance. It's again, the guys from the Tulsa Indian Powwow Club are coming. It's going to be out at the church on 41st. Help me, Bo. Hill Spring, thank y'all. It's going to be out there. It's going to be on February 7th. The community is all invited to come and learn, see what that's all about. But the big one coming up is in spring, May 10th. We're going to have probably the first powwow that we've ever had in Sand Springs that I'm aware of. We've been gracious enough. The school has let us going to use the football field. We're going to use it there. It's going to be May the 10th. It'll be all day. The main dancing will be that night. Some of our young men will be there on the drum. There will also be some of our students that are dancers going to be there dancing. So come out, enjoy. You guys are all invited. But we just wanted to I gave Superintendent Durkee that I would give updates on a regular basis, and it's my first time to follow through on that after a year. But but no, it's a program that works, that is good. It's inclusive. Everybody's invited to take part, learn, and the way of all the tribes and different things. So again, I appreciate it. Woodall?
And I just have to add a comment. This program has been amazing a long time.
Yes.
But within the last year, what you said at the beginning about we're a community of all people. You couldn't ask for a better partnership than our Indian Ed tribal membership people, because they come to the table open-armed with ideas that are positive for the good of not just our Native students, but everyone.
Yes.
Which I appreciate. And so I just can't comment enough how good that makes my heart feel. So thank you for coming and sharing. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Now we will move on to our awards. We have our Spirit Award.
Here we go. Yeah.
How's this? This is an exciting time. I really enjoy getting to do things like this because we get to appreciate our patrons. We get to appreciate our students, our teachers, stuff. And today, I'm going to recognize a community partner. I'm going to ask Terry Lee to please come and join me. She's the Mrs. Lee is the principal at Limestone Technology Center, and we want to bring the people up here from Reworld Tulsa.
It's a tongue twister.
It's
The
a
R's.
Reworld Tulsa. So please come and join us. And I asked Terry to join me because I thought, I don't know what Reworld is. And she says, well, I'm not sure I do either, but I do know what they are. They're a wonderful community partner for Sand Springs Schools.
That is true.
And I'm going to read what Mrs. Lee wrote. She says, Reworld Tulsa has been a fantastic community partner for Limestone Technology Academy. In the spring of 2024, they donated a makeover of our front flower bed. This made the front of our school look more appealing to all of our visitors. Recently, they reached out to offer more assistance where needed. They purchased a water bottle filling station for our students to fill their bottles and also purchased several new hooks to organize our lost and found. I like the water bottles that way you don't get nasty drinking fountains and stuff, so especially elementary kids, right? So they provided a holiday luncheon for the faculty and staff. Limestone Technology Academy is appreciative of Reworld Tulsa's generosity. So very nice. Ms. Lee, you might want to add something to that.
Just the fact that I never turn down an offer of help, and so I've learned to be ready when they reach out to me, and it's those things like that that would use up our activity funds or our PTO, so we really appreciate their support.
This Sandi Spirit Awards presented to Reworld Tulsa for outstanding achievements and accomplishments as a Sand Springs Public Schools student or community partner. We say challenge minds, inspire hearts, empower a community of learners. And by your generosity, your assistance, your help, you do that for us. So we thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll allow you to say something about your company too if you desire.
So Reworld used to be called Covanta. We are located in West Tulsa, so just a stone's throw away from Sand Springs, and we're a waste to energy facility. I happen to be the controller there, and we take trash from everywhere, from different companies and from cities, and we turn it into electricity and steam to help Holly, one of the refineries. So it's recycling when recycling isn't an option. So we're happy to be here, and I didn't even know about us before I started about 5 years ago, so don't feel bad, but it's a great company, headquartered in New Jersey, if you ever want to, look up anything. But yeah, we're happy to help.
Man, go ahead. You take our paper, I'm going to give you this as well. And she has to take her paper. I'm embarrassed. I'm an engineer. I drive by that place 100 times, and I did not know that was the name of it. I love it. So I may holler at you and let me take a tour of it.
Definitely.
It's kind of cool.
Definitely.
we have her sweet little baby at our school too. So he's been up there, back there waving and waving.
Come on up here. That's what it's all about right there.
Okay, I have the next Sandite Spirit Award, and I need Miss Addison Hughes up here. Hello, Miss Addison. Come on down. I feel like Bob Barker up here. I say that a lot because I really do. And the person that nominated you is Coach Shelley Brown. So can we have Coach Brown here as well? Come on over. Hello. Well, this young lady had a great experience, and so she was awarded the Sandite Spirit Award. And so I'm going to read to you what Coach Brown said about you. She said, I would like to nominate Addison Hughes for the Sandite Spirit Award for being one of 18 players to make the 6A East All-State team for 2025. She will be playing in OKC in June, so if you all don't have anything going on in June, come on down. She made the 6A All-District team. That's awesome. And she has a 4.0 grade point average. Great job. She represents her community, her church, and her team, and that is wonderful. Being this young and doing all of this is such an achievement, so congratulations. Coach Brown, would you like to say anything?
Sure, yes, of course. I was reflecting back today, just in case she asked if I wanted to say anything. Addie has been following our team forever. I mean, she would come and her family would come to our banquets, and she didn't even have to come to the banquet. So that's even special in itself. Then she followed our state runner-up team in 2015 and bonded with a lot of our players and has always taken pictures and been very involved. Was one of the first ones to play on our junior high team as an 8th grader. So she has actually played for us for 5 years instead of 4. And then she's just moved her way up ever since. She's gone to East Central to play ball. Very involved in the community, her parents and Addie. She's a manager right now for the basketball team and doing those things. So we miss her. It's weird not having her out there, but enjoy watching her grow and just excited to see what her next adventure is going to be. She's going to be awesome. And still wanting to be a teacher. Still wants to be a teacher. There's future teacher.
He's doing an interview right now. Well, here's your award, and congratulations, and we're so proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
Okay, Certified Healthy Schools Award.
Do you want to join me? Okay, so we have 3 schools today that are receiving the Certified Healthy Schools honor, and I'm going to have them all come up. Clyde Boyd Middle School, Garfield Elementary, yep, you can clap. And where's Angus Valley? Angus Valley Elementary. And if you are a member or contribute, Chris Corbin, I see you back there because I'm going to need some help. Come on up. I feel like there's others that might want to talk about that. But this is a proud moment because there are certain criteria that you have to meet in order to qualify for this honor. And so it's really, we try to be healthy. Chris is probably the epitome of talking about that. So I'm getting ready to hand the microphone to him, but certainly the board wanted to honor the fact that you've reached this honor again. So Chris, I'm going to talk to us about what that means.
All right. So for this award, the thing I have gum. I didn't know I was going to be up here talking, but the thing that's really cool about it is, so you apply with the state, and it's not just like your PE program. It's your PE program plus the nutrition program plus the counseling program plus, I mean, it's all encompassing of all the programs for the body and the mind. The mental health, the physical health of students in the school. So that's what's really cool about the awards. Like I said, it's not just physical, it's not just mental, it's all encompassing for all the students and for all of us to get the Excellence Award, which is the highest one. I believe there's 3 versions. We all receive the highest ones at Angus Garfield, the middle school. So thank you very much.
Good job.
Do you
ask.
want to talk?
No, I don't want to talk. He wants to sing. He'll do
wanna-
Taylor.
You want to do Taylor? Okay, ready? Squishy.
One, two, three. One more. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So it doesn't in here. Some of you may or may not know that this is Board Appreciation Month. We're missing one of our members tonight. She's on a mission trip because what you need to know is these people do other things besides serve on the Board of Education. They're pretty valiant in their mission and their own personal lives and at work. And I'm super proud to work for a group of people that really understand the mission of our children. I promise I'm going to go on to a tirade about just say yes versus just say no, because we really focus on student engagement here. We understand that, of course, academic achievement is really important. Life after high school is what we build on to make sure people are successful. But we also know that student engagement has to be at the core of making sure kids stay involved in school over the course of their student life. And so these guys embody that. We have people that really believe that any crazy cockeyed idea we bring to the table, if we can figure it out and fund it and make it work and find the people to support it, they're going to say yes if it's in the good interest of our kids. So I appreciate our Board of Education. So one by one, I'm going to announce them, give them a hand one at a time because they certainly deserve it. Our first and newest member is Miss Tracy Hanlon. There you go. Thank you, Tracy. Next, serving as our vice president this year and tonight president, I don't know, there's a word for that, I'm sure, Miss Whitney Wagers. Next, I'm going to announce this because he said I could, but our latest endeavor is a BMX program for our kids. And I know we have an audience member that's Tulsa BMX, Ashley Baker. Wave at us, Ashley. She has been intimately involved in just BMX Sand Springs, but this gentleman donated $10,000 to Team Sandite. So Mr. Bo Noggle. Also Mr. Modest. And then certainly, last but not least, the longest serving member of our Board of Education who has actually received a state honor through the Oklahoma State School Boards Association, maybe one of the wisest people I know in regard to the advice that he gives us in our everyday world, and that is Mr. Mike Mullins. So it is a arduous task to make sure we do what is right for kids, but these folks embody the whole Charles Page think right piece of wisdom that we gleaned in our city a long time ago. So thank you for everything that you do for us.
Okay, so that was all the super fun part of the meeting. Now we get into the nuts and bolts. If you would like to say sayonara for the evening, you're welcome to. And we're going to get into the not so fun stuff. Business. Okay, number 7, review and acceptance of the 2023-2024 audit by Bledsoe, Hewitt, and Gullickson. I hope I said that right. Okay.
I have a microphone if
You're
you
welcome
would
to stay there.
prefer, so folks can hear you online.
Yes.
Okay. I think I turned
Come
it
on.
It's flashing green, red. It's like Christmas. And that's it. You think it's going to die? There it goes. I got it.
Is that working?
It is.
Well, very good. I can't follow all the awards. You
It's
always
hard.
do that to me, and then everybody leaves and
It's hard.
hurts my feelings.
It doesn't, actually.
I know. It happens everywhere, so I've gotten used to it over the years. But so my name is Jeff Hewitt with Bledsoe Hewitt Gullicks, and I'll kind of talk to you about this a little bit. I'll be pretty brief. Shane was going to be here tonight, but had a little scheduling change, and so you got the longer-winded one. So only 30 minutes tonight instead of 5 or 10 minutes. But I was telling Superintendent Durkee, I was like a little sad when I was pulling in the buildings that are torn down. Used to always go over there for the administration offices and did a lot of work over there, and so it's kind of sad to see it gone. But progress is good. I'm sure it's going to be a great facility when you get it all finished. But I'm going to start real quick just on page 5, I think, which is the Independent Auditor's Report. And I'll hit a few of these reports real quick, and then just touch on the financial, and then if you have any questions throughout, just let me know, and I'll try to answer. But this page 5 is the Independent Auditor's Report. It's the main report. It's like the opinion letter. States we audited the financial statements there at June 30 of 24. And like you've seen in the past, there's 2 qualifications, or the second and third paragraphs is a qualified opinion on a regulatory basis, and then an adverse opinion on generally accepted accounting principles. And that is basically the way we have to present that, because the district prepares its financial statements on a regulatory basis prescribed by the State Department of Education. And there's a general fixed asset account group, which is a column on the balance sheet is not shown. So therefore, that's why it's qualified on that regulatory basis. So you've seen this in the past. Probably about 90% or more of the districts in the state of Oklahoma have a similar qualification. So it's really not specific, just to your district. But I'll flip over then. Well, I'll see. The regulatory, it is the qualified opinion, but it is still a good opinion. It's not like it's unqualified, adverse, or so it's still a good opinion. Any questions on that? I know it's kind of confusing, even kind of confusing me to try to explain. But after that, we'll flip back, pages 8 and 9, and then 10, 11, and 12. Are 2 similar reports. They both deal with internal controls, with compliance with laws and regulations. The second report is more specific to the federal programs and its internal controls and compliance. Had there been anything that we observed that would be a significant deficiency or a material weakness, it would have appeared on one of these 2 reports. And we didn't find anything that rose to that level. There's only one little item on the management letter, which I think is the very last couple pages as to the bound report. And it was really just with some coding of the federal programs. It's just making sure that everything that you receive and expend is coded properly to that project code. And I think there was only about a couple of the programs with the Indian Ed and Johnson O'Malley, and then a little bit of 621, which is special ed. So pretty general, pretty common, something we've come across. Just making sure, because the State Department will ask later, they review it, and they'll say, why does the expenditures that are on your OCAS data not correspond to what's on this federal schedule? So that's why it's important to make sure it's all matched up at the end of the year for sure. But overall, I think that means everything was good. I didn't come out here this year for the audit, but I have been several times before, and the staff's always been very helpful and always do a good job, and it just shows in the work that we see. And I think it's also just testament to you guys as well, then see the progress, and we all work together and been here a long time. It makes a difference in the whole school district. So thank you for that. But I'll flip in real quick over to page 15. I think it's 15. This kind of starts the financial section. And this page 15 is basically the balance sheet. You'll see the assets, your liabilities, and your fund balance broken down by the different columns. Your general fund, your special revenue fund column is combined your building, child nutrition, like you have co-op fund there. Then you have your debt service, your capital projects, which is a combination of all your bond funds, excuse me, all your bond funds. And then you have your general long-term debt account group, which shows the capital leases and bonds that are outstanding there at June 30, 24. So then on the next page is basically the income statement schedule, statement of revenues, expenditures, and your changes in your fund balance. And you can see the general fund column, you had an excess of revenue over your expenditures, about $3.1 million. So your fund balance increased from 6.6, I need my glasses on here, to like 9.9 at the end of June 30, 24. So obviously, it's good. It's a positive cash flow. The penalty level for the State Department is like 14% of your revenues, so that puts you like around 6.7 million. However, from your fund balance, you take off the federal revenues, so you actually sit around 4.7 when you compare it to your penalty. So you still have a couple million to go before you'd start to even get penalized. And of course, there's at least a 1 year grace period, so I don't think you really need to worry about it unless you have an excess of $5 million at the end of 25. So overall, that's good. I mean, a positive cash flow. I don't know how much, there might have been just a little bit left from the ESSER money, but I think that should be all gone by now for the most part. A lot of schools that kind of skewed some things over the last couple of years, but I think you're in a good position here. The special revenue column, again, it's combined building, child nutrition, and the co-op, and it also had an increase of 2.4 million, so that's good. And then your debt service is the sinking fund, which it's just based on the need, so you really don't have much control over that particular fund. The next three schedules are just similar income type schedules. They just have a budget, an actual, and a prior year comparison. And then after that comes the notes, which I'm not going to go through all those with you. It's pretty general information. Towards the back of those notes, find the page, has a little more information about the debt that's outstanding. I'm just going to see there. 32 and 33, kind of those areas. Just a little description about the bonds and capital leases that are still outstanding. But then after that, just if you want to go after the notes, it's going to be a breakdown of those special revenue funds. Page 39 and 40. It just shows each one of those funds separately. Page 39 is the balance sheet, your building, co-op, and child nutrition fund. And then on page 40 is the income statement for those funds separately shown. A couple pages after that, on pages 42 and 43, similar. These all deal with the bond funds. Page 42 is the balance sheet for those, and then 43 is the income statement for all the bond funds you had some activity in last year. And then if you look, page 46, I think 46, 47, maybe 48, it's the activity fund statement. It just shows each activity fund sub-account, the activity for the year, the revenues and expenditures for each sub-account. And the last couple schedules are fairly similar. Pages 49 and 50. They're both the schedule of expenditures of the federal awards. Page 49 is the one the federal government requires, and page 50 is the one the State Department requires. So we've started to put both of those in there, even though pretty much the same information, except for the one the State Department's got quite a bit more information on it as far as the amount of the program, the revenues and expenditures for each program. And that about brings me to the end, unless somebody has any questions about something. Like I said, overall looked good, and staff's always real helpful whenever we're out, and if we need anything or have any questions. So, any questions?
Yeah, Jeff, I just got a couple. You have been our auditor for a long time, and I appreciate the job that you've done. And this past year, we've had some changes in our financial department, and Mr. Wine's doing a wonderful job. When your team was here, did you see was there changes? Did you see something? Did we continue on with the change of leadership and things like that, or do we need to look at things differently?
Well, and I think if I'm not mistaken, probably some of the change happened later in the year, I think, and so there's not going to be a significant change we would have noticed at that time. But I would think there wouldn't be that much of a thing that we would notice. I mean, it's not one person's going to, can make a change, but I think if you have the policies and procedures you already have in place, as long as those are continued and not, changed upon and kept up with, it should be not a problem.
I appreciate your comment about that you didn't come this year, but you come years in the past, and you brought some other new people here because
right.
I really don't want you to get comfortable with us, and we don't want to get comfortable with you because you are eyes and ears on these particular things, and we want you to be more credible with the board than you are with the worker bees, if you
Right,
will.
right.
And so I appreciate you changing people around to get new faces and new procedures and stuff like that as well, so.
Well, thanks. I like them coming out too, so I can retire here pretty soon. But yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's good. I think we try to do that with different staff coming out as much as we can, because it is, different eyes sometimes seeing some things, but it helps for sure.
And our staff was cooperative with all the stuff that you needed, so not a big deal.
That's right.
Got it, thank you, I appreciate that.
All right. Any more questions? Now we need a motion to accept, correct? Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the audit as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and a vote, please.
Mullins,
Aye.
Hanlon,
Aye.
Noggle,
Aye.
Wagers.
Aye. Thank you.
Ms. Wager, since we were able to do the audit ahead of the rest of the meeting, would it be possible to move item number 32? Because I know we have a representative from LD Kearns here, our contractors for the Clyde Boyd project, so he can answer any questions you might have and then get home if he needs to as well.
Absolutely. You said 32?
Item number 32, yes. For just a moment, I do want to make a correction that needs to be reflected in the minutes. LD Kearns needs to be differentiated from D Kearns. So we have a typo that is in 32 that talks about the structural scope for the middle school to be assigned to LD Kearns. That is incorrect. According to the bid tabulation, that should be D Kearns, and we'll make note of that in the minutes of this meeting. But basically, we opened a bid package, that would have been Thursday, to award contracts to a couple of vendors for site work, concrete metals. I know we have a representative is here from LD Kearns as well to answer any questions. That total scope, you're looking at a number of 5.9 million and some change reflected in that, but that also includes the general, what's the word I'm looking for? Yes, that will cover the cost of the whole project. So do you want to elaborate that on a? Correct. So what you're seeing is a portion of the total project, and if you'll remember, in order to get started quickly with the road work this summer, we wanted that full contract be broke up into parts so we could get started. So that's why you're seeing a $5.9 million amount in this section. We'll go out to bid for the final finish for all the building soon. Do you have a date on that?
I've been told we should have drawings by the end of January, so probably we would be presenting amendment number 3, which would be the final amendment at the March board meeting.
Just of note, that's important for you all to know, we still feel like we're going to be well within the projected cost of the whole project, but just in an effort to stay on schedule and get it complete by the summer of 26 so students can open there, we felt it needed to be broken down into pieces. So.
Taking a little longer than anticipated to get the drawings complete, and we've been struggling to get the project completed by school year
6/27. So questions for Earl? He took the time to come and represent.
18 months, I'm concerned about that a little bit. You can think you can finish it in 18 months because school's going to start middle of August of 26, and we'd love to have kids will be in that school in August of 26.
We do. Of all the school projects
We'll have occupancy. There you go.
I see we have a representative of the city council here to maybe help us with that too, get a certificate of occupancy.
Right.
So we can move kids in on that day, so I'm excited seeing, I saw the road graders out there today, they were moving dirt, lots of activity. So, even before we approve this tonight, you started, that's good, I love it.
I think that was the demolition scope.
Is that still that's going on?
That was actually part of GMP Amendment 1.
Okay.
So it's already been approved.
Okay. The 18 months though, that ends if 18 months from today would be in July of 26, I believe. So you're gonna stick around even though okay, you got it.
We will finish. And we do believe that 18 months is ample time.
Any more discussion?
Make a motion, we accept item 32 as stated.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Vote, please.
Mullins,
Aye.
Hanlon,
Aye.
Noggle,
Aye.
Wagers.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Earl. Appreciate you. So moving on to item number 8, if you all are ready to start the discussion of my report. We're talking about continuous improvement with students and staff. Attached is the professional development schedule for January 20th. I would love for you all to attend. We have a guest speaker, Todd Whitaker. He's been with us before, motivation, but has some nuggets about student learning that's going to be really fun to hear. So I hope you can come. We've been in the midst of mid-year checkpoint meetings with our administration. Those are going well, looking for a review of mid-year benchmarks. So while we're kind of meeting with our directors now, we'll start the principal meetings really soon. Sean's taken a team of administrators through a professional development training called Winning Strategies Playbook. COSA's providing, or actually OSSBA is providing it with other speakers that are training. Noelle's here. She's one of them that's going. So it's fun to have administrators willing to learn and improve. We have started contemplating the calendar for fiscal year 26. I talked about that with our SSEA team. Interestingly, it'll look similar to what the calendar does this year. So starting within 30 days from October 1. As you know, that's an important piece for our revenue. And then ending before Memorial Day. So it'll be very, very similar to what we have now. It looks like we're going to be able to get out a full week for Thanksgiving and 2 full weeks for Christmas, just like this year, without any kind of trouble with the calendar. So that draft will be ready for you guys to review in February for approval in March. And then last on that section, I attached a flyer that Ms. Lehuber created regarding our Transition Academy. She kind of jested with me. She goes, well, it's been open a while. We got it done. But I thought it was a pretty great explanation of what we do. So I don't know if Carrie wants to elaborate or if you have questions for her. But that's turned into a really amazing program with a space that was just repurposed, but they're making work. So I don't know if you want to elaborate on that, Carrie. We've talked about that before, but I loved the flyer with the explanation.
It looks really good.
I feel like I've spoken on it so much. If you guys have questions about it, or if you ever want to come take a tour,
Oh, that'd be fun.
I would love to take you on a tour.
How many kids are?
Right now we have 8.
Nice.
3 of them will graduate as they'll be 22 during this school year, and they'll graduate out. These were all kiddos who were mine at Angus when I was in the classroom, so I just love it. We probably have 4 to 5 coming in that were graduating 12th graders this year that'll move into our program.
Very cool.
We also serve, and I didn't put this on there, we serve a student from Berryhill through an IEP service agreement. Obviously, when the burden came from the state that thou shall do this, not all districts are able to do that. With one student, you can't create an academy, and so I've gotten some interest from some other districts around here to also send their students, so we can expand it to other districts. When we do that in the service agreement model, like Berryhill pays for one of our paraprofessionals, so that's how we have the agreement with them.
Do we have a cap? Like, no more? Okay.
No, because anybody who takes the OAP, anybody who takes the alternate assessment,
Oh, okay.
is eligible.
Okay.
So we do have parents who choose not to do it, despite our best
Oh, okay. Yeah, for
So
sure.
when you say graduate, do they do a ceremony for them? Like,
This will be the first year. They all walk in the high school
Mhm.
graduation ceremony with their class. So for example, the class of 2022 or the class of 2023. But then we're going to do a separate little small ceremony,
Good.
maybe
I
in
love
here,
that. It's fun. That's
for
awesome.
those students.
Okay.
The three that are finishing up the program this year.
It would maybe fun to do at a board meeting. I think that people would enjoy that. It's really good.
Mr. Rick, I
Um,
appreciate the way you promote it too, and this article that showed up in this magazine, I'm assuming the winter edition, so,
COSA magazine.
okay. Very nice, and I say we promote this all over the town if we can.
Absolutely.
Because what a deal that we're doing. It's pretty nice.
Absolutely. Yep. We'll talk. I'm going to write that down right here under community because I have a comment about the promotion of such too. So, paper. Okay. Any questions about students and teachers?
Resource innovation.
You bet. So the first comment I want to make, of course, the OASA state revenue report. Notice I've taken, Vernon Florence's name off of it. I guess it's time. They've now kind of branded it, which I'm cool with. It's just I really miss him. That is really important. It's a lot of information, sometimes hard to decipher, but I will tell you we're in a period where our OASA and COSA executive team group is really watching the dollars, the state revenue dollars. You all probably are familiar with the budget process, but in December, the Board of Equalization certifies a number that signifies how much money the legislature has to allocate each year. It's reviewed again in February. Right now, they've targeted, we think, a number that might be a little bit more than what the state will collect in dollars, which means that unless it's corrected or adjusted, and again, we watch that every month, you'll see that revenue report continue to be on the board agenda, but the goal is to make sure you don't overstate how much money you have to allocate. And when that does happen in excess of a 5% holdback they do every year, then it sets the stage for a revenue failure. And we lived through that in 16, 17. My first year as superintendent, it was not a pretty thing. So therein lies the reason to have a healthy fund balance, to be honest about it, because we know that a cut wouldn't maim us, but at the same time, it certainly doesn't allow for programs that we need, like the Transition Academy, that has cost extra money for districts for a very noble purpose, but still cuts into our state, our local budget. Prefab at the middle schools were removed last week. They were supposed to start demoing the tech building. I don't know if that started yet. No, well, it has not. It's going to happen really soon. It's fun to see those things get started. And so again, you heard Earl, our target date for opening is August 26th. I believe that we're going to make that, and I think it's going to come a lot sooner than we think it will. We had a chamber forum last week. Mike Carter, our city manager, spoke. Mr. Mullins was there, which I loved having. And of course, Tracy from the Chamber works for the Chamber too, was there. Just discussing our joint project. Always love it when they highlight the school, but showed some city renderings of the finished plaza. I think people are really excited. We all know that's going to be delayed until likely July because of the hitch we had with our building, but that's going really well. Also, just in regard to the board agenda and what you typically see under consent agenda, Mr. Wine brought it to my attention that the Energy Cabinet, the report that we see for energy consumption, was very similar over time, month after month after month, and suggested a better way to look at that. More than happy to have you expand. Cassidy, if you'd like to take a minute to talk about why.
Yeah, sure. I got to give the credit to Miss Carrie Stuckey. She's the one that produces that report. I did it before she moved into her role, but what we've noticed is the last 4 or 5 months, those numbers have not changed. And so we input the bills every month before we run those. And so it had us pause and question how useful that report is. And it's also something that I think we could do in-house. I mean, we're already entering the bills into this software. I think we could come up with something within Excel or Google Sheets with a graphic to show you the same exact thing. So
So it's not going away. It's going to be in a different format that we feel like is going to be more meaningful as you peruse that portion.
Correct. And we're on contract with them until the end of this year. So you'll see it until June, but maybe a little bit before that, we can start the transition of maybe showing you some other options.
Yay, Methodist Church report. So Mike Stockard notified me last week. We just received the original document that he needed with the original signature from the Methodist Church. We have it. It's been sent to our closing agent. We also obviously been reviewing with our attorney. Eric Nelson from RFR is the one that's kind of guiding us through that process, but looks like we're going to actually be able to set a closing date, hopefully in January. So I'm super excited about that. Megan Wiley's with us tonight. We just wanted to update you on the benefits. I believe we approved a contract to change our benefits over to a different provider. We've had a little bit of a hitch, so I know Cassidy wanted to kind of talk about that.
Yeah, so the focus is really on dental, and I think we mentioned that in November timeframe when we talked about switching our broker over. So Megan Wiley with Enlighten Benefits will be our new broker for the dental and the life insurance piece of that. We've kind of paused on any changes just because we want to educate our employees, and that's for both dental and the life. I don't know if you'd like to add anything onto that. We had talked about a switch on life insurance, but it was really very similar between the two and no price difference as well. But we kind of paused on that for a second. So.
Oh, sorry, I'm hogging them. I want the mics here if y'all joking.
Ms. Durkee, you're deferring it to me, and then I'm just immediately deferring
Yes,
it over
I
to
know.
you,
I see you. Well, and this also gives you a chance to meet Megan, too. I always think it's good for the board to understand who we're doing business with. And so she's in town, and it's nice to have her here so you can see her.
Thank you so much. Yeah, my husband and I had the opportunity, I'm from here, and then my husband and I had the opportunity to purchase the old Pyramid Print Building located on 2nd Street. So we'd been renters out in South Tulsa for a number of years and really wanted to bring our business back home to Sand Springs. And so when that building came up for sale, we were tired of being renters and decided we wanted to purchase and put our roots down here. So we've been here now, it's been about 3 years, but thankful for the opportunity to partner and service our teachers. It was a very seamless transition. We were already assisting many of the educators with their retirement. I'm a Medicare specialist, and so assisting them and answering their questions in that dirty word of Medicare, we've already been servicing and helping many of the teachers, my mother being one of them. So it was a seamless transition, but we're excited for the partnership. To Cassidy's point, we don't want to rush anything. We certainly want to follow your lead and making sure that the education to our teachers is there. The biggest way to cause concern is to make change too quickly. And so we are just here to support you guys and to look at all of the bids and to evaluate those every year and then make the change for the vendor when the time is right and when the price is right for your teachers. Any questions about the benefits?
The only thing I'll add to that, Ms. Durkee, if I may, is it made sense too. Like Ms. Wiley said, she's already helping our employees. She's right down the street. She's local, and I know she's going to do what's best for our teachers as far as shopping and making sure we're getting the best deal, but also the best coverage, especially when it comes to dental. So,
good deal. Last comment here, and I'm going to apologize profusely. I am going to be taking a vacation in July to Europe with my sister. I hate to even say that out loud. However, I didn't catch the board meeting in July, which is going to conflict, and I'll be absent. So I just want to give you a lot of heads up. We would like to change the July board meeting to July 1st, which is a Tuesday of that same month, versus the 7th. So we'd actually have it earlier and closer to the 1st. It will be a Tuesday, not a Monday, though, if that would, so think on it.
Can't we just have it without you?
You could, if you would like.
It'd be a lot quicker.
Maybe. That's probably true. I'm going to yield to that one. I've taken that one on the chin for sure. Right? It's on you too forever. That's okay. Right. Maybe. Maybe. So that's coming up. It will be a special meeting just like we have done in the past with others. So that concludes the finance strategies facility update, unless you guys have questions. Okay.
Empower families and communities.
Absolutely. So I'm going to start, and this is not on the notes. However, when you talk about spreading the word, we try to leverage social media as best we can, but the good stories that our district has. And sadly, January 15th will be the last Sand Springs leader. You all may be aware of that. I was going through a little bit of a melancholy period last week when we were cutting articles out of previous papers. That's a whole nother story we won't have time to get into. However, it dawned on me that our platform for telling our story is no longer. And I don't feel like we'll get the same kind of coverage from the Tulsa World, and it saddens me a lot. So we're going to have to figure out an alternative, because I think the stories coming out of Sand Springs are important. I think they build some positivity about our community and our school, and I don't want to let that go. So when you talked about making sure people hear about our Transition Academy, we've got to figure that out. Whitney and I met this morning and talked about the possibility, and we've kind of rebirthed the Santonian, I say we very loosely, our high school team, and how do we make little mini reporters out of some of our high school folks to talk about true journalism, telling truths, getting stories out that are real. And so there's got to be, we've got to think about that. We've got to start really throwing ideas out in cabinet as a district to try to figure out how to do that, because I really think the Sapulpa Herald still has the Sapulpa Herald. I hate to say it, but those affiliated with the Tulsa World are gone. So Wasso, some of those little communities don't have a local paper, and that worries me a tad. So just something I've been thinking about. Coffee with Cabinet. You mentioned, Mr. Mullins, that you might like to, we'd love to have you attend. It's the 27th of January at Limestone. It starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. So we'll be gathering, and hope and pray people show up. One parent, understanding how we operate and what we do is worth it for our time, and one person and spreading the word just exponentiates the word people get about the positive going on. And we can answer questions about those that might have some concerns.
I'd like to
Yep.
just go back to you talking about getting the word out and everything. I think that's just a prime example of what you and I talked about on the phone about that some kind of signage at that corner of that new property that we're fixing to, I think, big.
Agree.
sign
So
would be good.
Yeah, he's talking video to get word out, and I agree. It's the corner of, I'm going to get this wrong, 113th and 38th Street where we're purchasing the new property. It is a busy corner where a lot of people drive by going to work, and so anything to market and share things that are larger than just today is January 13th, 2025, bigger stuff, like that could really help us inform people of what's going on around the school. So agree, totally agree. Let's see, I will be speaking at the First Chamber Eggs and Issues meeting on February 14th. Again, love to have you in attendance. It starts at 9 o'clock here in this room. I believe I'm the first one on the chart. Ms. Wyan, our chamber president, changed it up just a tad in that we would invite the legislators to come mingle. I'm not saying they're not coming. I don't think we've heard word, but really an attempt to get anybody that we can get to listen to legislation issues as it affects the school education world. And I think that's important for people to understand. We touched on it a little bit at our Leadership Sand Springs, which I totally forgot to mention. I'm getting ready to get in trouble. But when you walked in, or when you came in, the parking lot was full with all Leadership Sand Springs folks that are trying to learn about our city. Oh my gosh, I was supposed to introduce them, and I did not. But learning about our city, our local church network, our nonprofits, our school, all those things. It's an opportunity for us to tell our story and tell them what we do well, and then maybe speak to some truths that need to be told that maybe when you are searching for information, you find otherwise out in the social media world. So we need to make some corrections on that. So that's coming up. Love to have you.
That's on Valentine's Day?
It's on Valentine's Day. Yes, it is. It's a Friday. You could still go out at night for Valentine's. True.
What kind of?
You could show your love.
They have chocolate eggs?
Maybe. I could bring some. Robin eggs. How about that? And so that concludes, unless anybody has a question or comment regarding community.
Health and safety.
Okay. Mandatory drills. Mr. Bynum is always good for a reminder of our sites that those are due now. So those are going to be conducted, if not already, soon at all sites. Ms. Chittister always needs a hooray posting about protocols for winter weather closure. I was thankful that the winter weather happened on Thursday afternoon, making an easy call because I didn't have to think about it, which was great. That doesn't always happen that way. Ms. Sinkbild, Lindsay Sinkbild, you heard her name over and over and over during COVID protocol season. She's amazing as just a person, but also in her area of expertise. And she's developing a letter for our parents just to encourage a little quicker response when their babies get sick. Like to have them picked up if they're vomiting a little bit sooner than later. So that's going to come out in a gentle messaging to parents soon. And then I would like, Cindy's back in the back, but as you know, she's our technology director. Full review of additional security cameras we feel like we need at some of our sites. Specifically, Federal Programs is going to cover the cost of new cameras at our new Transition Academy. Probably going to need some additional cameras at the back of Central Admin, which is going to turn into the front when that's complete. And then it's time to start considering transportation and maintenance. And we're looking for that work to be completed this summer. So that concludes health and safety, unless you have questions. And of course, we got to present, the Healthy School Award to 3 of our sites, which was fun. Questions? Okay.
Consent agenda.
So really just, I think there's one item I flagged that would want to bring to your attention. It's not new. We don't see it very often, and it was time to put it on the agenda again, and that's item number 25, review and approval of the City of Sand Springs interlocal agreement for the law enforcement unit. As you know, we now have 3 resource officers that are employees of the City of Sand Springs that help us, muster through things that would require their expertise. And when we do an interlocal with a law enforcement unit, that means that what we do that could be construed as a law being broken becomes a part of the law enforcement unit in which we can share all information with our local police department. So super important partnership. So we do it every year. I just wanted to bring it to your attention because we have increased the number of officers we have. I think that is it, unless you guys have questions about any other consent item.
I'll make a motion we accept the consent agenda.
I'll second. I have a motion and a second. A vote, please.
Mullins,
Aye.
Hanlon,
Aye.
Noggle,
Aye.
Wagers.
Aye. Okay, action items. Number 28, proposed executive session to discuss temporary teacher employment recommendations. About executive session to discuss employment recommendations for the 24-25 school year. No. Okay. Proposed approval.
I'll make a motion we accept number 30 as stated.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. Vote, please.
Mullins,
Aye.
Hanlon,
Aye.
Noggle,
Aye.
Wagers.
Aye. And approval of employment recommendations.
Make a motion we accept item 31 as stated.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. Vote, please.
Mullins,
Aye.
Hanlon,
Aye.
Noggle,
Aye.
Wagers.
Aye. And so we moved up 32. So any matter not known about or which could not have been reasonably foreseen prior to the posting for this meeting?
There is not.
Any announcements?
Turkey, thank you for the recognition of the board. I appreciate that. That's very special.
I would put you all up against any board in terms of being the very best. Probably across the nation, but certainly the state. And I'm not kidding about that. It just takes some concentrated vision of making sure we think about what's the best thing for kids, and you do that every single month. So you're very welcome.
I like you guys.
We're dang sure the best looking.
I didn't say that.
I like you guys too.
Yeah, you're okay.
Okay.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. Vote, please.
Mullins?
Aye.
Hanlon?
Aye.
Noggle?
Aye.
Wagers?
Aye. Thank you.